Okay, there we go. There we go. We're getting going. We're getting going. We're not entirely there yet, but we are getting going. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. I am sorting out some last freaking minute things because things are happening, things are being changed, things are working out, and I also had Faldoma that poked me with an IC10 code that I got completely, totally not distracted by, which is entirely my own fault. But we are here now. Let me just post in the things, and we should be getting ready to go. I just need to make sure that we are on the right branch, because I was poking around on the beta branch. Ooh, there was an update push to it. Let me just take a look here. Yeah, I need to make sure that I am opting out of it and going on the none branch, because I was poking around a little bit on the beta branch earlier. Yeah. So let's have a look. Let's get OBS on the right side. How goes day one of the slave labor job? Oh, I haven't started yet. So my first, my first day, and I'm signing the contracts and whatever tomorrow by 11. I still got today as a free citizen. Just gonna tune that out. This thing should be popping in. Did they push the update live, or is that me? Open up the change log. Oh, okay. Okay. So the big bug fix update is out. That is pretty sweet. That is pretty sweet. Oh no. So yeah. So to clarify that, I talked with Faldoma on it when he was streaming way earlier today. And I also trolled the Discord and also poked at Simon to see what their general policy for the beta branch and the non-stable release branches for streaming and whatnot. So the update that came now is obviously the update that had the fancy news post attached to it. And it does specify in it that the beta branch, the one that you can opt in that says beta branch, will contain the terrain changes and like all of the new terrain stuff. Once it goes live on that test branch in a stable state, it's, playable, I suppose. I don't know if that's the case. I saw there was an update pushed to the beta branch. I'm kind of tempted to just grab the beta branch and see if they actually push the terrain changes already, and then maybe we can experiment a little bit and taking a look at that. Maybe. So I'm just updating quickly. And we'll take a look. And yeah, cat is going absolutely crazy. You know what? I'm just gonna pop that on. I do need to fix the freaking filter. Alexa, streaming. Two things at the same time. So he's going absolutely ham with the thing just below the camera. I want him to just push it out. You can see him wiggling in and out. See if I can actually get him to attack it now. But I might have caused confusion and now he's being suspicious. He's like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing what you're doing?" So we're just gonna flip over to game scene, and we're gonna have a look. Yeah, so on the test branch, do you have anything new? No, I don't think so. I think all of the general preview stuff is not out yet. They're probably going to be popping out in the next couple of days, I suppose, if we are lucky. Because I'm pretty sure they're not live yet on the test branch. So we should just see the old stuff. My presumption. Yeah, it's still the old map. Then we don't need to worry about it. We are just gonna hop back out. We're gonna opt out of the beta branch because we don't want our save to completely break. Do this, and we do idle. That's the one I wanted. Although I don't know why. Yeah, there we go. Took a while for the game display to actually pop in. What day were we on? We were on day 182. Okay, so that is posted, and then I'm just gonna post it on to MOPP Discord, and then we are good to go. There we go, and there we go. So that is sorted out. That is fixed, and that should be pretty solid. I hope. The camera's not on yet because I pulled it down. But give me a little bit, and there we go. Pop that out. Get my share slightly raised. There we go. Now, in the chat, play nice. Can I undock it, please? Thank you. And I want to have it on my left side. There we go. Thank you very much. Much better. Much better. Yeah. So, we'll definitely take a look at the beta branch once the terrain is out. It's gonna be pretty neat to swirl around on it. My concern is how playable it's going to be in its current state, like long-term slash mid-term playability in terms of how ores are regenerated, how the ore distribution is looking, if it's still true random or if they've tuned around a lot of it. Or how that's overall going to be looking. So I'm being a little bit reserved as to actually playing on it. But it's gonna definitely be something that I'll pop in and, you know, tinker around a little bit, check out how it's looking, how it's feeling. Bask in the amazement of the new generation, because it is looking phenomenal. There we go. So we're first off gonna have a look at our rocket, see what the general progress of that is. 93% batteries. Clearly, we need more battery. We need more miners. Or we can do the speedy boys. Hey, we know the survey target. I don't know how we figured out the composition, but you know we know how much copper we're gaining per ore. So the way I presume this is happening, right, is I'm presuming it works as with the generation here, like when you discover things. Like we have the site discovery, we have a chance of anytime you do a discovery for a deposit, you get one of these, and then you deplete the deposit, and then you can delete the location. Once it's deleted, you can rediscover and scan that place again to gain more deposits of that type in that belt. That's what I presume it is behaving like. And let's get the camera back on. That should be fine. But yeah, so we've gotten, you know, you can tell we've gotten 1290 ore. Now I'm hoping we'll be fine with doing a drift over to the iron, but I'm kind of cautious and considering just going back to the base. Still getting used to all the buttons in this different UI. Okay, so the practicality of this now is our other rocket that we currently have a little bit under the weather is doing whatever. While that is mining, keep just mining copper. I guess, you know, if we just fill the whole rocket with copper, would that be bad? Comes back with like 4,000 copper. We wouldn't need to worry about copper for a while. Which is one less resource we need to concern ourselves with. That's more silos. You'll burn through it too. Yeah, I mean, that's very true. It's like, I'm pretty sure we had more plastic in that. But yeah, we did. That's gonna need a ton more steel sheets. We're gonna grab... How are we looking on steel now that I've abused the crap out of all of that? Let's just pop that steel in there and then just eject it. That's a little bit much steel. Didn't realize it was that much in it already. Let's do that and make 300 steel sheets. Because we are gonna need a crap ton of steel sheets once we start placing walls on things. We are gonna need a bunch of pipes. What else are we gonna need? I mean, we're gonna need a ton of cable as well, but less of an issue. How are we looking on the mining drill? We still got some frames. Where did we end up last night? So we were doing chutes. We're gonna need a bunch of iron for that. Those chutes are gonna be coming in here. We're gonna need sorters. Oh yeah, we need to keep keep drilling a little bit. Which is also why I needed the jetpack. That gonna be that in line with this tile here? No, it's one more. That's in line with it, I think. Right? That's the other wall. Yeah, that should be the other wall. Could have just started up here, to be fair, but yeah. There we go. Because I think regardless of how the planet or how the terrain update happens, I do wanna get to a point where I finish off this base. And get it like all neat and tidy and set up with some decorations and walls and like the tunnels going where I want them to go and all of that. At the same time, you know, it's new terrain, it's new content, it's hauling ass over new biomes and you know, or you know, point of interests and whatever else. At the same time, once again, if we can't travel easily enough to these locations, I'm not gonna be bothered with moving to them, even if I think it's cool and it's interesting. I wouldn't be going to them unless I can actually reliably, you know, get there, get back without a pain in the ass. No matter how much interest I have in them. Because I am a lazy gamer. That is looking pretty neat. Get a few pieces drilled out. I don't know, it feels kind of satisfying just drilling away, making room for all of these silos. Okay, so that should be some space to do that. We're gonna fetch... Let's fetch some plastic and some steel so we can get some of these built so I know which freaking way they're facing and I don't confuse myself. Do you have anything else in the silos that we need to... Steel sheets, plastic, and cables. I mean, we do have cables for a bunch of them. But we're gonna need more cables for them all. Also including the capacity to actually get them hooked up. Hope I placed them in the right direction. It's basically going to be the input from the back end and the exit in the front end. And since it's like 15 steel plates each, there's going to be a lot of it used. There we go. There's some silos. I still haven't figured out why the Twitch alerts are not popping up. But we'll see if... And it should be... Is that just... do you have alerts stacked correctly in OBS? I mean... Shouldn't be an issue of... So... I mean, yeah, maybe. It's complaining that the general alert is being... I don't know. You know what? Let's just pop the hydrate one just to see if... Yeah, Now I hear it. I don't know if it's a problem, if it was something last night or something yesterday. But now I properly hear them. Yeah, so they were making sounds on stream, but I couldn't hear the audio cue on my end, which made it even weirder. So it was you know, it was audible for everyone else. I couldn't hear it, so I needed to pay attention to the actual activity feed on the Twitch stream manager. Okay. So we are gonna excavate 2 silos in this direction. And that's gonna be where our ore input is coming in. And then that's gonna also eject into the centrifuges. And I need to figure out how much space we have, how much space I want to use. Or if I want to have that go straight forward and then the centrifuges stays with the mining, because I don't think I have enough space. I mean, if I do it below... So if I put the centrifuges down here, and we'll have the ore chute coming down here, it'll go into the centrifuge array, and then the ore chute comes out. And it'll cycle through these guys. And then once it's done here, it'll go through a service tunnel up on that end, because that's going to go into the furnace area. And obviously I'm gonna need a gas waste pipe out here as well, if we want to process the ice. Because that'll be shipped back to the atmospherics. Which is not too bad, because we do have a waste pipe access right here. Right above there. So that's going to be less of a problem. That way we can put the ice coming off the miners from space. We can just have them go in through a crusher here. Based on our need. But it's discerning where I want the centrifuges and where I want the initial ore, the dirty ore intake to be. I'm tempted if that's coming, if those chutes are coming here with the dirty ore, and then they sideline to the left here, and we can do, what can we do? 1 tile, 2 tiles, 3 tiles. How much space do we have? We got 1, 2. If we get 2 tiles essentially worth up here. But if we go below and we do that there, yeah, we can do that. We're gonna do like 3 tiles inwards. And that's where our centrifuges are gonna be. I mean, we should be good with, like, you know, 2 centrifuges, really. Because I think our, like, we're gonna gather a whole crap ton of resources, but it's gonna be yeah, because we'll do that, and then we'll do 1, 2, and then we'll do like maybe another 2. To be fair, maybe. And then we'll have the sorting here, and then, you know, bing bam boom. Because the idea is, I'm gonna use nitrous oxide for my centrifuge, right? And when you're running nitrous oxide for the centrifuge, it bumps to that 1200 RPM, which processes a resource per tick, which means it'll chug through 120 ore in a minute. And there's just no way in hell that we're gonna be able to kind of build that processing speed using rockets. Like, yeah, if you had deep miners and you just continuously scale it until you get up to that point, you can do it, absolutely. It's just, at that point, it's just a matter of power to sustain everything. Do I want to do one more tile? Yeah, we want to do one more tile. But because we're essentially gonna be landing out with, we get a lot of resources, but we get them infrequent. So we just need to have a centrifuge that kicks up, starts processing things if there's enough things to process. And then as soon as that goes into kind of slow down state, the second centrifuge starts to take resources and kick back up. So we always have one running. But we don't need to have both running at the same time. And I think that should be fine. Yeah, and then this matches up exactly up to the wall. This side does not, so I am tempted on refilling some of the like a voxel on this side. We have the wall slightly closer, just to get an even sizing. But we'll see. And then we're gonna need a whole bunch of stackers. We're gonna need a whole bunch of cables, a crap ton more steel. A lot more silos. Do. Right, let's have a look and see what our rocket is doing right now. 89%. And it is still chugging along. And we've I guess it's discovering as it's mining. Is the density increasing, decreasing? I don't know. Well, we're making progress and we are not making a dent in the battery consumption, so that is fine. We can just leave that to its own devices. Because looking at the re-entry capacity for the rocket, We are... we've gotten 40 kilos extra on the ore we mined currently. So, that's fine to just let it mine this deposit out. And that's going to be almost 100 stacks of copper. Yeah, since we're up here, we might as well just get a little refreshment. Delicious, delicious bread. That's not great. We are gonna need to hop down and put some more hydrogen into it, because what happens when we run out of hydrogen is we run out of fuel. And we're probably fine at the moment because we're making an abundance of fuel. But that's also fuel we need for the rocket. We are gonna need to do some more hydrogen mining, because that is unacceptable. We're basically out of volatiles. We got another 10,000 moles of fuel, but we're definitely feeling it. How's the liquid going? Well, it's 755. We're getting there. Almost 25%. Making headway. Making headway. Drilling, building, doing things. Let me just take a quick peek on... Let me just copy this out, right? Do I have my the Lappy laptop on me? Yes, I do. So we are gonna take a little bit of a quick peek and paste this in and have a look, see. Just need to, my brain cannot just look at it. Yeah, this would be very, very peculiar. I have an idea what he's trying to do, but it's not entirely intuitive as to how to use the stack. Yeah. So, Trash Pandas, you were watching a stream. What is he trying to do? Because like it feels like he's trying to specify / select or set values for the different things based on if they are if that's the device that's selected. Does the selector be D0? Is that the dial? I'm presuming that's a dial. I see one dial or switch that selects what he wants to make from a machine, and the other dial he's trying to program is a quantity of stacks he wants to output. Okay. So the tricky thing with telling the device what you want to be making is that it's a lot more complicated than that. Because I don't think you can do, or you can write recipe hash. But you can't. So you can read recipe hash, right? You can write recipe hash, which means you can tell the device what to make. But you can't do like go to next recipe, if that makes sense. But what you can do is you can do something like dial selects recipe by definition. So inside the code, you have code, you declare recipe 1, recipe 2, recipe 3, etc. And then you have the dial specify which recipe you want to be making, similar to how you've got the like the autolate select, the electric printer select, the bender select, etc. And then you have a quantity regulated by output of item. The 10 recipes configured, hooked up to a full display, so you can visually see what the yeah, but that's not specified in the code. Like, there's nothing here that's specifying those recipes. And I'm assuming that these are the upgraded versions of the devices. So you've got the regular autolate and then you have the upgraded version. Well, he's got 9 things here. I don't know. It feels like it needs to sync, because if you want to go to the point where you want to do like go to next recipe, Well, even then, I don't think you can do that. But you can specify. We can actually we can try some of that out. We've got some. I've been meaning to take a look at it, so it's not a complete loss if we do. Steel solder. Solder and steel. I've been meaning to take a look at it, and we are gonna need to take a look at it because I wanna build in all of the industrial devices here. So it is not a bad opportunity to do that. Take some inspiration from him. Do some logic switches. We want to have... Hey, Poldoma. Knock, knock. Is that a knock, knock to do voice things, or are you currently streaming, or just in visiting? Well, I might not have described it correctly, so I summoned him. Streaming and I knocked it. I don't know. There's no audio cue for that. Can I? Like the stream together thing, should that not have prompted me? Ooh, there it is. Okay. There you are. We'll just run the voice through this thing, and that's gonna be fine. Hey.
So I kind of reworked that whole code that I sent you.
Right.
It's not. Yeah. So I took out the console because the console's only reading the dB of the housing, so it doesn't need to be in the code. I took out the button because I can just read the hash of the button and pull from that. Same thing with the lever and the LED. So those freed up four slots for the stackers.
Oh yeah. You don't need to have them in. You don't need to have them specified. You can just. Yeah, anything that you can get off the pins is great.
Yeah, and I kind of broke that down, got them off the pins, and now I'm running into an issue where my lever is being dumb.
Is the lever supposed to eject all the resources out of the device?
Yeah, it's supposed it opens all of them.
Yeah.
So I've currently got.
I'm replicating things here. I'm just because I've been meaning to take a look at this overall. I mean, I've talked about it previously, where being able to just have kind of like a hot activate button of like craft me 50 cables, bam, thank you. But there are a few hard set limitations, and I seem to be running out of iron as always. There are a few hard limitations with doing it this way, and I don't know if you came in a little bit after the second, but so a few kind of tricks with it is that you can't do things like select next recipe, which is the biggest hurdle depending on what you're trying to accomplish, right?
Yeah. I'm not trying to do that.
You have to preset the recipe and then select the specific recipe according to a library you create, essentially.
Right. So yeah, I updated the code to what I currently have. But the issue is under open up and close them, I'm getting errors.
Look. Oh yeah, you updated the actual thing. Yeah, let me just copy that thing. I'm just grabbing some iron to be able to make some buttons. Freaking 1 iron to make switches with. Not enough.
1 iron.
Yeah, I just had 1 iron. I made 1 switch, and then I made a dial, and then I ran out of iron for the next dial I wanted to make. My rocket is currently out mining.
Call it back.
Yeah, but that's a ton of fuel I'm wasting. So
True.
on the rocket harvesting thing, they can harvest. If you just cram in a bunch of batteries in them, holy smokes, they can keep mining.
Yeah. Can you like cram a station battery in there?
No, but because they have their own ship battery types. But I mean that thing's been out mining. It's mined little surrounding 2,000 ore now, and it's spent like 10% battery.
Wow.
And that's just
insane.
That's just on. I got 6 of the medium batteries in the rocket, which is like 1 segment of the rocket. I still have room for another 4 battery slots. And as I mentioned, the whole rocket in its total capacity to carry things on just a 1 big medium cargo is like it was like 30,000 ore or something at the max capacity.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, I need to start using rockets.
They be nice, and they stack in twice the stacks if you were not using stack mods, which then I don't know if they stack even more. If all this the stack mod works as it multiplied everything by 10, right?
Right.
So that means the space ore would also stack to that degree. So it'd be 1,000 on each stack.
Oh my god.
Let's see here. Where is my pad? Because I got myself a little bit lost. There we go. And that is why we have a beacon at the top of our base. Right. So let's have a look at this a little bit as soon as I've smelted these things, just so I have the same kind of, not necessarily the same setup, but a little bit of a flavor to it. So you're just doing like a general selection, being able to select the station you want to be ejecting from, and like manipulating all the machinery with the functionality that they generally have outside of select next recipe.
So it's what it is I sent you a picture of it. The dial on the far left is selecting essentially the stacker. Right. The console is allocating the image of the bench to that stacker. The dial on the right is the amount, like the dial on the stacker. That's what that is. The button automatically sets the setting dial to 500, so I can just pull the lever, and the lever will eject everything from everything. And then the LED is going to display how much is in the selected stacker.
Right, okay.
The issue I have now is at line 31 and 39, which is at the start of open up and close them. It's coming back with an error. But all I'm doing is telling it to open. Store.
What's the error? What is the error specifically saying?
Error at line 30. Currently it's error at line 39 with it closed. So that's under close them. It's just saying error at line 39. And the line is store D2 open R3. And R3 is set to the lever. Like, that's a simple code.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really that should be specific, because if it's not throwing an error on the read On 31,
Yeah,
it shouldn't be throwing an error on 39.
Well, if I pull the chip and I open the lever,
Mm-hmm.
and then I put the chip back in, it's gonna throw an error at line 31. And then if I close it again, pull the chip, put it back, it's gonna throw an error at line 39.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, but the D2 is the auto stacker.
Fucking dumbass, Doma.
So that wouldn't.
Whoopsies.
Now, it is curious that it got to, or actually, yeah, no, because it wouldn't be throwing the 31 error because that would require it to get into open up, which is why it's not throwing it initially. If you would to get
it's on.
Yeah, if you would to get into open up instead, it would throw an error on 31. But that's just wrong device on the wrong thing. So it doesn't have the parameter, hence why it's throwing the error.
So how would I get from a hash to pull the setting, or write to a setting from something just using a hash?
Just the hash value itself.
Yeah,
just call. So just call the instead of using S, you use SB.
And then just the hash of the bench.
Yeah. Since essentially is when you use a hash, it's a batch. It's a batch call, so it would do across all devices with that type. Now to specify it out further, you can do the specific name on it with SBN, and that filters out. It goes on the hash value for the device type first, and then it would filter on all the devices with the specific name. But what I wanted to do was something similar, but not entirely the same. Because I was in the since I don't want to have. I still want to have access to the workbenches, so I'm not going to hide them out completely, which, you know, you obviously don't either. But I'm just going to make sure that we are on the same thing. But I was going to look at having a little bit of a short key thing on, and this is kind of a precursor to automatic production, of having you select a recipe on a dial, and then you just hit the button and it'll make a stack of that.
I mean, yeah, that's probably something I'll throw on the other wall. Because I've got just as much space on the walls that I do on, like in that picture.
Mm-hmm.
I've got enough space on the opposite wall above my tool bench and my.
Yeah. The other thing I would have liked to do, but I'm not entirely sure how to do it because I am not good enough with the hash, or not with the internal stack memory usage on the benches. Is I would like to have a dial to select a specific resource type and just be able to select the specific bench and just eject that particular resource, because you can do that. So instead of you janking the handle and have it eject every single resource, which is kind of the default thing I've seen more people use. So you would have I think it's just a matter of setting the address on the OP code. Maybe.
Wouldn't that have to do with stacks? Because like essentially that's what it is. It's going.
It's an address it's an address thing. So the way it works is similar to how the logic sorter works, right? So you are accessing the internal memory of the device itself. You're not using the logic parameters. You're using the direct internal instructions for it, which is kind of bypassing all of the other bits and pieces. And you're editing the hex value directly to, basically, you're telling the operating system of the device what to do, rather than you giving it pointers to where it should be going.
Okay.
And did I have that in? And it should be working pretty much the same way as we'd set up the logic sorter. If I grab the logic sorter code, and we're gonna... Do I have some heavy wires so I can connect these dials up? Yeah, I have some here. I have one. Whooping one. There we go. I think we can give that a go and see what happens. Tool belt, wire cutters. Because that is something that has annoyed me to death in just not being able to specify what resource I want to eject. And then, you know, you keep cycling every single resource every single time. There we go. That should be fine. And then we'll just use the activate button. Don't want to worry about more cables. We are going to want a hash display, which is going to need us a little bit more gold. And we're going to need another dial, but we can just specify the machine directly and not have to worry about it. So hash display in there. This is all freaking brand new things for me. I haven't poked at this at all. I've had a deep longing wish to actually do it. I just haven't gotten around to it. So let's do that. Let's get our cartridge out. Configuration tracker. Do that. Is the chat actually being shared? Don't remember if that got toggled on.
No, I think no, it's not.
Could be, right? Is it not?
There we go. It's on me to do it. I got it.
Yeah. We have less people being confused about what is going on here. Right. So let's do some shady stuff here. First off, we're gonna paste in my the code we had for the sorter. So on the logic sorter, instead of having a computer that's specifying which piece to whitelist and whatever else, we're just directly doing it into the operating system of the logic sorter itself. So this is the entire code you need to tell a logic sorter what to sort.
All right, patched that. Let's see if that fixes it.
I'll throw it into our chat as well. Just find it kind of funny.
Yes, it works. That did it. Okay. So we got the lever.
Having the right device activated the lever.
Yeah, the lever's opening everybody and closing everybody. The button is setting the dial to 500. So now I just need to get it to where the selector selects the appropriate stacker, which now that they're on pins shouldn't be hard.
No, that should just be designate the selected grab, just load the dial and then load that value as the hash value. Grabbing the config for these things, 29052.
Save.
And then we're just gonna grab this thing. So we are gonna try to eject the solder from the electroprinter. That is what we are gonna try to do. And we're gonna do that using the memory usage Because, as I said, I'm not entirely clear on how to do this. So this is all experimentation. But essentially, we want to do define button.
Yeah.
And that is going to be defining our button with 299.052. Define our style 299.069. Define console 299.848.
The code's done. That's the final code.
It works. Nice.
It works. Everything works. Oh wait, no, I got to get the LED. Never mind. Never mind. But it's everything up to the LED works. So I just gotta read the stackers slots and write to the LED.
Nice. That is pretty sweet. And it seems like tomorrow is going to be a freaking busy day because not only new job, but also the terrain preview thing is going to be popping into the beta branch. That seems to be confirmed-ish. That seems to be the general talk of the town on the Discord. Where is that thing?
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so Simon did mention, like, an hour ago that it ended up being pretty late when the patch went out, so he put off enabling it until today, which is, you know, currently their start of the morning in Down Underland. So he's about to get up and go to work, and he'll push a build later today with it in, so it's probably gonna either gonna get in during the night / in the morning. So at the latest, it's gonna be like in 6 hours, I think, if they want to push the preview onto the beta branch within their workday today.
Hell yeah!
So you keep an eye on it. You could, in theory, pop in and have a look at it today. I won't have time because I'm gonna be heading off to bed in 3 hours, so not gonna be me thing. And then War Thunder is also having their major freaking Hornet Sting update gonna be coming out, and we are gonna be playing some War Thunder as well because I want my F18.
Never really got into War Thunder.
Oh, it's a bit of a love-hate relationship for me. It's a great game. It just, I would like them to put more focus into gameplay improvements and like objective and like the general map design, not the visual, you know, not the map design in terms of where the building is placed or where the trees are or where the forests are, and like that, you know, but the actual core objectives and loop designs of the maps, which is lacking in my view. Like, they're way too small. Super shrunk freaking cap circles that you have to get into on the ground side. That's just dumb. Some, you know, some small frustrating things like that, which is also why play some PvP, do some of that, play some Hell Let Loose, and then sit and play Stationeers and just calm my nerves for 8 hours. It's good stuff.
Sounds like it.
Right? It is a good work-life balance, right? And then we do define, and that's gonna be electro. Is there a difference between the electro printer with its upgrade or not? It's still gonna be the same, right?
Yeah, it should still be the same.
we're just gonna do... What is the resource for that? That is... solder. That is gonna be our prefab hash. Define solder. We are essentially going to do bitwise operations. I think that should work, right? So if we clear memory on the EP device, then we basically do the same thing here. We apply... what's the bit address on the electroprinter for the eject resource? Electronics printer. We want to be using, as an example, sorter. So the logic sorter. We are making sure that we are adding the instruction for what to eject under the bit address length. So we want to be setting it to 8 or higher. And then that should be fine. It could do some other stuff inside whatever else and whatnot, but for the filter, we're using that sorter address for the prefab hash, and it's in address 8 to 39. So we can do electronics printer. We can do, and this is also where you can execute recipes. So if you pick a recipe, you set the quantity, and I think it should just execute and craft that quantity of that type, and then you clear the memory after it's done. Because you can set a quantity inside the device internal memory. And then you just reduce that quantity with each craft that is completed.
Right, I think that's what the code. I think cows are evil that I picked that up from. I don't think that was cows.
No, you can do so the normal, like if you're using it normally, you do have completion ratio. You also have export count. If you're using the regular logic, just the regular parameters, you can do, because I think that is set to, it reads the quantity you've set on the stacker, which just does a completion, like it does a completion ratio compared to that value. Or is it actually injecting that value into it? I don't know. Is it setting the OP code as well? Logic sorter, because the OP code, is it actually applying the OP code somewhere, or is it just, that should be fine. We are doing fancy things that I'm not entirely sure is going to be working, but we are going to be trying it. So we're going to use printer instruction dot eject reagent. And it's basically going to be looking at solder and then 8, because that's the address stack we want to be using for, and this is the input variable that we want to put into it. And then we're going to do R0, R0 if it's incorrect, and we're going to do, oh, is it printer instruction? Yeah, printer instruction. Printer instruction dot eject reagent. And then we just apply that address to 0 and R0. And that should be what we need to do. Now, we want to call this And this is where the tricky things comes in, or not really tricky. We want to read. Let's just do R1 or whatever. So we want to read the button, and then we want to check if it's activate, and then we want to do a EQ R1 1 eject $.
So the code is done. I'm going to throw it up on your server.
Sounds good. Just wrap it up with MIPS as well. And then
Yep.
Let's have a look and see if this works. Export. Oh, look at that. We're actually getting achievements here as well. We're not getting errors. So, if this works, we'll see if it works. If I do this. Did we do anything? We did not do anything. Do... anything in particular we need to do? Pretty sure it would be enough with just calling the eject reagent. Address 63, valid only that is 0 to 6, 053, 053. That should be fine, right? I wonder if the activate is causing a problem. Let's do what else do we have here? We had the lever 299067. Ah, yeah, there we go. Device not found, line 15. What do you mean device not found? 15 doesn't have a device on it. Error line 11. Ah, yeah, we can, yeah. Cable. Give me some heavy cable. There we go. Device not found, 16. Is it not connected? It is connected. So it's not finding the device. Did I grab the wrong... Was it a good old grabbed the wrong hash value for it, or grab the config, grab the device for it? 12849. Oh, it is running the program, but it's not actually doing the thing. But it's not throwing errors anymore, so you know, progress. Because that should. It should put the hash value for the solder to the left of the 8 empty bits. Which you can be hunger caution. With 64 addresses in total on the fabricators, 0 to 53 are used to write 32-bit instructions using put. 54 to 62 is reserved for fabricator to return information. Yes, if you put instructions in execute recipe, they'll return. If you use get, if I use get, I would get. I would read the address stack, and I would be able to retrieve the resource types that is required to make that recipe. But
Alright, cool. It's on your server, so you can grab it whenever you want.
nice, thanks.
I'll even post a picture, so you can. Oh, I can't post a picture. You won't let me post a picture. Well, you can.
Is it not letting you post a picture inside the thread?
The thread? Nah.
That seems like a slight oversight of permission access things. Just pretty sure you should have access to that. Allow embedded links. External. Counted as embedded. Does that work?
You want... No, not embedded links. It's just like upload an image.
I so wish I could fucking search in these permissions. Attach files? That should be...
Yes, that's the one.
Attach files. That should work.
There we go. Yep.
Yeah, because it's deriving from game FAQs, which isn't allowing on its inherent thing, which is intended, but at least it's thingy. Anywho, yeah. I wonder if it's doing that. So if that's, I wonder if it's reading, is it reading that instruction into the device and then acting on that instruction if I open up the hatch on it? So if I do this, and I do this, and I do open one, and then we just close it. Does that work? Because maybe it does have it in memory, and it just needs to know that it should be doing it. I don't know if that's a fluke or if it... I don't know if that's a fluke or if that was actually... intentional. Because it did send out the solder first, right? Export. Don't know if that was... Okay, so we cram in a bunch of things here. We put in the solder, and then we put some other stuff in here as well. That was Constantan, and then we put in solder. Throw that in. There we go. So, if we hit the button... Nope. Button just ejected iron. It just... Oh, it did! Did that fucking work? Did that work? Okay. So, let's do that again. Let's pick another resource. My freaking headphones is beeping about battery. My character is beeping about hunger. You know, it's just all the things. So
they can wait,
right? But if we do this, right? So if we do this, right? We do this, and then we just chuck in some other stuff here. And we'll grab, instead of the electronic printer, we'll grab the rocket manufacturer because that doesn't have a stacker attached to it. 26519. 265197. 265197. Right, so we are gonna eject. What do we want to eject? The Electrum? Let's do the Electrum. Grab the Electrum. Grab that prefab hash. Go in here. And then we just do this. Replace that. And then we just grab that code. Do that here. Now, if we hit the button, it should be throwing out the Electrum. Did not throw out the Electrum. It was a pure fluke. Because it is just ejecting random things. No, don't eat my... Don't eat it. Damn it. But we're gonna need to do something about the hydration and the food. There was just a fluke that it did the solder? Or did I miss something up? Did I miss something else up in the code? Because I would like to get that to work. Because that would be phenomenal. Then we need to change out the waste tank. And then we're gonna check on the rocket, because that deposit should be depleted by now. Mm. 84% battery. 4,351 mine total ore mined at location.
Jesus.
And the yield.
So the fuel is only gets you to where you need to go and back, and then you start using battery.
Yes. Well, it's still used. So depending on the engine type, you'll be using energy anyway. But going from the initial like launch up to where I'm at right now, which is the first kind of deposit area, whatever else, took like 2% battery, because that's the energy that's used by the gas engine itself, because it's a pumped gas engine, as well as the avionics and like the general circuitry on it. But right now it's just the rocket miners themselves, because it is in orbit in that location.
Right.
Now, the 2 miners I have on board now is equipped with normal mining drills, which has like 100% energy usage. There is a couple that has a higher yield and is speedier, that has 800% power consumption multipliers. But they are also a lot faster. And as I said, they got higher yield multipliers. I guess that, they just harvest resources quicker. But if speed is of non-concern, then they can just sit and chug away. And because of the weight, the weight of the ore, the total payload mass is essentially the giant thing you already have in the rocket that you launched with. Because we've got a total of like 4,500 ore in the rocket, and it's added, 60 kilos in total mass.
So that factors into your thrust away.
Yeah. But it's adding the ore itself into the cargo container is insignificant in terms of weight impact. Just having the storage unit is basically what's adding, or what's being the whole hit. And I need to put in the freaking charger in my headphones before they die. There we go. Now they will be less unhappy. So let's have a look at the code again. So we're not using the electronic printer, but the device, and that seemed to work, but maybe the rocket manufacturer has it differently. Rocket manufacturing.
I need to publish this.
Eject resource. No, it's still the same.
Alright, so for anyone watching who wants to use this workshop control, I I just uploaded it to Steam.
Yeah, and if you pop the Discord thing in as well, it is available on my Discord on the Stationeers thing. So if you're running into issues with using it, you can use that forum post in there to ask questions and whatnot with it. That should bit shift to it. Actually, we should be able to read that. Yeah, so if we do that, and then we do a get, we do a yield, and we do a get, and then we do R2, and then we do EP. And we want to get the hash value from the address. And that address is going to be... It's not going to be 0. Because I am going off what I understood about the logic sorter. Ooh, should that be... Well, it shouldn't matter, it should still be 0. Because it's grabbing the address that we're at. Although if we're reading... So if we're reading the value, we should get that value from 8, and we do SD, and then we do... Let's nuke the console out and use that as an LED instead. Or actually, we can just do... Let's add an LED. I'm curious if we can write out... write out that data. We can grab a memory. That we can do. I think that might be the best. Do that. We're getting a little bit messy, but that is what happens when you are debugging things you have no idea what you're working on. Bam. And then we do this. And then we do 301198. There we go. So we are writing to our memory setting R2. And then we're gonna see if we can actually get some data on it and see if it's writing to the right place, if it's writing out the correct value. That didn't seem to do anything. It's not ejecting anything, so it's definitely... something is definitely breaking. Try the 0 memory. Nope. That doesn't make any sense. Or 0. Let's just see what it's actually trying to put in there. Don't know what that is, but that is not the right thing at all. The hell is that? This should just be shifting it around.
Alright, I've got both of codes for both the workshop automation and workshop control up on Steam.
Nice, nice.
So, then I think I will just throw the automation on into another thread.
Nice. My brain is getting more confused by the minute doing this. We shouldn't need that in there since we're already clearing the memory on it here. Don't necessarily need to open that. Just want to have it toggling. So it, once I hit activate, goes into eject. It says it sets the solder, and this is where my confusion is coming in. So this should just shift the bitwise logic operation. So basically it takes the thing, so in this case this thing, and it shifts it to the furthest most left, so it should be looking like this. But it's not.
I saved my potatoes from dying.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, on Europa, because of Jupiter being in the way, there's not much sunlight. So I was getting light deprived. Had to throw down a grow light, and now I'm about to set the timer code to it.
We'll just do this. See what happens and what it puts into that memory. Three 9680. The hell does that work? I'm confused.
I just need more copper.
Oh, the binary representation of our value. Is it shifting it over to hex? That's what it's doing? into a hex calculator. I don't know. I think this might be a headache. I need to that open. I don't want. I feel like I need to take a look at a video regarding how this works. Because there are a couple of really, really nice videos on the subject. Can I just do it? Yeah, I need to take a look at that. I need to do some proper freaking homework on how this bit shifting works because it is frying my brain. And there is a pretty freaking solid one as well. Because you have SSL versus SLA, which is kind of where when you're using multiple instructions versus just using one instruction and you want to fiddle things around. Yeah, we'll return on the subject once I figure things out a little bit. See if our rocket has depleted that deposit yet. I mean, it's saying that it keeps going, but the density it's almost depleted, right? 0.086. Each chop is, yeah. Let's just deplete that out completely, and then
Can confirm the code works with upgraded benches too.
yeah, it works the same.
Yeah.
Nice. Right, so centrifuges. We want some combustion centrifuges, which means we are gonna need some resources. We're gonna eject all of the things out of these machines because, oh. Invar. Here you are. So I think 3 combustion centrifuges should be enough. My plan is to have one going at any given time, and then they cycle around, so when one's shutting down, the other one's kicking up. Because they're gonna be going so damn fast, it doesn't really matter. And then we're gonna need a whole bunch of stackers. And that should be fine. Get that out. That's sorting out. Oh yeah, we need to repair all of our umbilicals there because I forgot to retract the umbilical connections to the rocket when I launched it, so it just ripped all of the cables and everything.
Oof.
I mean, at least it didn't explode, so you know, I'll take the win on that one. We need the frames, and there we go. And then we need the centrifuge just so we have a test batch. And then we're gonna need a gazillion amount of more pipes because I am contemplating whether or not to just scrap the fuel pipe and just go hydrazine slash, you know, nitrous oxide fuel. And that's gonna be pretty excitable. Both in the fact that it's, you know, an explosive mix that doesn't like pressure and all of the other things. That is gonna be our devices for this. Actually, the combustion centrifuges means that we're gonna get more hot gas out of this that we need to run through our Stirling engines. So that's gonna be even more power. Yeah, let's put you there. Now we'll put... We got room for more if we want to. There you go. Combustion. But you got the code sorted out.
Yep. All of it's done.
Nice. Well, you know where to find me if you need any more help with.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just weird bouncing ideas, or just, you know, avoiding staring yourself blind at the code and going like, this is just dumb. It's not working. Why is it not working? Having a couple of extra fresh eyes usually helps just to kind of catch weird small things, which is why we have pretty rigorous code reviews when we do, you know, code updates to projects and whatnot as well, just to have more people look at the code you wrote. Which helps catch weird things or come up with other ideas on how to do them.
Simplify things and stuff like that.
Right. Or just go like, why on earth did you do it this way? This is stupid. Do it another way, please. And then sometimes it can go, oh, this is amazing, nice work. Done. But yeah, I'll sneak out of the collab here with Faldoma, and we'll see what happens with the map, like with the big changes to the maps and whatever else. Maybe we'll do some other fancy multiplayer things.
Oh yeah, for sure.
On some of that as well, because we are gonna need to run a new map with the terrain changes once they are actually on live. Whenever that gets done.
Sucks.
And that's unavoidable. Like that is hard set confirmed. You are gonna need a new save. However, that doesn't stop us from, you know, continuing on with the current ones. Since we did just get all of the other bug fixes and everything to this branch, which is nice. We don't have to wait for those, or, you know, we don't have to not being able to wait for those. Where did I get rid of the other steel sheets? So that's fine. But But for future content and any other update things that we are going to be getting, you are going to need a new save / be on the new cool terrain branch whenever that may get onto the stable system. But yeah, I will catch you later. I'm gonna chug along here, and then I got an hour and a half ish to go, and then we'll start running off, and then it's off to bed for me. So if you're still on, we'll probably take a drive by. But yeah, I'll catch you later.
Yeah, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Take care. So that was Feldoma, another fellow Stationeers streamer, which a lot of the people in the chat recognized and frequent. So let's see. Are you done, Rocket? I want to get that rocket back home. I'm a little bit antsy over it. Yeah, it is. It is completely done. It is 0 copper left. So the question then, because of its fuel capacity, like, do I go iron? Can we set that as destination, right? Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. We are gonna set our silo. And that is where we're gonna be going. Because we're essentially gonna take as long to get to the new deposit. Because we got a minute and a half before we get to descent. And then we are gonna chug a bunch of... Yeah, that should be fine. Like, full thrust is 16 kilonewtons. I don't know why this is saying moderate. But yeah, since... oh boy. We might not have fuel to get back home, boys. Or? Yeah, because we're not... I mean... If we're not applying thrust, right? If we're doing... Like, in my brain, right? We're moving along the path here, right? So if we kill our throttle, we should still be moving. Right? Because we're moving. We shouldn't be needing to keep throttle up at all times. I don't know why our target velocity is 750 meters a second. But we've got... We should be fine. If the math is correct here, but I don't know if the math for the ETA is accounting for the thrust vector on the descent. But as we're slowing down, we're also, you know, we're also decelerating. As we're decelerating, we are also reducing our throttle quite a bit on the descent. Which would extend the fuel capacity. But, you know, having 20 seconds of fuel, that's gonna cut it short. Because here we go, we are in orbit here, right? We get into orbit. Bam, we are in orbit. And now we are descending. And we are gaining, like, the descent arrest. We are spending fuel, but as we are descending, it is also decelerating and throttling down, which is reducing our fuel consumption. So I'm concerned about the fuel time versus the descent arrest. Basically, is the fuel gonna last us until we're actually down on the ground? Like, if I just set the throttle, if I just go, if I just stop the auto landing. Because as it stands right now, we're gonna be like 30 seconds short of fuel because it didn't correctly calculate it. Well, we're running out of fuel here. Yeah, we might be. Yeah, this thing is free falling. The silo is gone. Well, I'd like to point out that there is nothing left of this rocket. Okay, we're gonna be a little bit dirty, and we're gonna try to load it and see if we can actually manually land it. Yeah, there's no debris at all. Like there's nothing left of it. Wonder when that save was. God damn it. That's annoying. That is very, very annoying. I mean, it seemed to be able to, like... Yeah, so we're on the descent here. Basically, I don't like... Like, it's burning all the fuel, but it doesn't make any freaking sense at all to be burning all of that fuel. We'll just run it until it freaking... Because the only option we have here is to try to get it to automatically adjust land. Once it gets below a certain point, because the impact velocity, it's still recovered like a crazy amount. Like even when I kill the throttle on it, and it did whatever. Like, I'm pretty sure we can just freaking decelerate it and do, I don't know, like 5,000. Maybe we were a little bit cheeky. Wait, it went back into... Yeah. Okay, so we can recover this. We can recover this. Yeah, I think 5,000 might have been a little bit overestimated, but we basically need to figure out how far we can take it with not decelerating. We want to kill that, and we just want to turn off the engine. And then we want to let it free fall. 30 seconds remaining, maybe? Because we do not have a lot of fuel. Which is, once again, we need to figure out how much fuel we actually need remaining in the rocket by the time we get back for it to successfully land properly. At least we had a pretty good autosave for this, right? Because it is doing the landing with a massive amount of like safe zone things. So let's do 30 seconds. I think we might have been a little bit short. We might not be able to do this. Yeah, because that's coming down in the 100. Holy crap! Like 50 seconds, maybe? But I don't think we have more fuel than that. So even if we wanted to save the rocket, 10,000 elevation? Yeah. Because I mean, it needed like 150 meters a second more space, but I'm concerned about whether or not we have fuel to even recover this. Because we have like 45 seconds, like 50 seconds worth of fuel. So if the impact is set to that, because the trick is kind of exploiting the impact velocity, because we won't go faster than this essentially. So if we try 45 seconds left to impact. And see if that's enough to slow us down. Because that has the descent arrest. Yeah. Because that has the descent arrest slightly higher. Than our fuel capacity. Because I think as long as we touch down with, like, you know, 10 meters a second or something, I think there's going to be enough left of the rocket at least to salvage it. But our descent arrest is increasing too much compared to it. Because we're burning through the fuel too quickly. Like, we're still on 3 kilometers. And we got 30 seconds left. I don't like the fact that the descent arrest is just climbing. The fuel, I don't get why the fuel time isn't decreasing. Because we're basically out of fuel. And the ground velocity is still slightly too high. Like that is coming in way too fast. And we are free falling out of fuel. With like 200 meters to go. I don't know if this is recoverable. I honestly don't know. We might have screwed ourselves over. But the problem is the problem is the fuel. Because we don't have enough fuel to decelerate. So we're like 10 seconds short of fuel. Because it doesn't seem like the fuel spent on... Like, it doesn't seem like it's adjusting the quantity of fuel consumed based on the throttle amount, which should be the case. I'm just very confused about why it doesn't seem to be doing that. Like, if it's reducing the throttle, the fuel time should be increasing. It shouldn't be decreasing. Like, we got 8 seconds worth of fuel there. And then bam, we're out of it, and we're going 38 meters a second. The last, 20 meters or something. And then we see our poor rocket just free falling. And that just shreds it. We might actually be pooched. Our first mining rocket might actually be screwed. Because we don't have enough freaking fuel to get back. Which is the risk of rockets, but it is also a learning process. Like there's if it impacts like that, it is outright disintegrating. And I don't know if there is actually anything that we can do to do anything about it. Because it doesn't seem like we can accelerate enough to counteract the downward fall. The alternative is not letting it reach that speed. But that puts us in the same problem as the other ones. Although our impact velocity was pretty low, right? Like if we want to have any type of chance, it's gonna be really touch and go. So if we do 45 seconds and then we just do full throttle and see if we can counteract and get, because that's 60 seconds worth of fuel. So we're not doing an auto landing at all. We are doing a manual freaking landing. Because it is figuring out if the descent arrest is going to be close enough to the fuel time remaining that we can make it. And that was we turned off the auto thing and then we pushed on the gas engine at 45 seconds, and we might be pretty damn close. But we still have freaking... I don't even know how this works. Like, there's just 4.5 kilometers there. Yeah, so we should be able to do this. We should be able to do this. It's gonna be really fucking close. It's gonna be really, 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 really close. I think, maybe. We might be screwed by a couple of meters of ground velocity. Because we did 45 seconds, we should... We do 30 seconds? That's not going to cover 4,000 meters. 12,000. Let's do 12,000. And see if it has enough time to decelerate. That has us an impact in 35 seconds. Our impact is lower than our fuel, at least, so we'll be burning upwards as we are as we're crashing. Yeah, we're not gonna have time to decelerate for that. But hey, you know. So that was what was that? 12,000? Yeah, so that was at 12,000. So let's do we just gradually increase until we get close enough? Because I kind of, you know, disregarding of the resources, I just kind of wanna succeed at this. Let's do 13,000 and see if that solves it. Or how close we get on it. We can just watch the rocket explode continuously. So 13k. Because the benefit of doing this, as long as we have the burn capacity, we should be able to reduce the amount of fuel we use significantly by using that ground velocity buildup rather than continuously fighting the ground velocity. We just need to figure out the point of no return. That was not what I wanted to do. Because I forgot myself. I should have just flipped the gas engine on rather than whichever else, so that is just not gonna work. We're not even gonna try. That was me. That was user error. So, moral of the story, bring more fuel. That's what I'm getting out of this. Or only mine one rock field at a time. Mine one rock field. Well, we didn't mine all the gold. We mined a chunk of the gold, and then I went back, and you are right. Just doing one deposit or bring more fuel so we can do multiple deposits. But we are also only running on half fuel in the rocket. Let's do 14,000. That's got a descent arrest at a decent thing. So that's 14,000. Let's see if we're short. News that because this is my confusion is like the center rest would in my mind would mean how like until I'm actually in the silo. And if we're a second short, we should be damn close to reducing that ground velocity. Yeah, that we just don't have enough fuel. Damn it. I think this rocket is screwed as it is. Because we just don't have enough fuel. We're short like 30 freaking seconds of fuel. And I blame the UI for this. Because I thought it accounted for the fuel time to the ETA. Like, you know, it was saying 110 seconds worth of fuel required to get to point B. And that was just not the case, because it then recalculated once it had reached that point. I don't know. I think that rocket might be pooched and we're in for more mining. And I think just accepting that fact is just that we're just gonna have to live with it. Because we just don't have enough fuel to counteract the gravity. Which freaking sucks, but we learned a lot trying. But our main concern right this very second is going to be refilling some hydrogen. Because we're running out of it. I mean, hell, getting the lorry up and automate that into a volatile production would probably make more sense than another rocket, if I'm gonna be completely honest. Either way, it's more steel. But we do need more hydrogen because, as I said, we are out of it. So our first rocket we almost lost because that ran out of batteries, and the second rocket we did lose because it ran out of fuel. Oh, come on, terrain. Thank you. Then of course there's the other potential of what if we don't use gas fuel in the rocket and we go sub-zero temperature and we do liquid nitrous oxide and liquid volatiles. Because if we're doing them in liquids, nitrous oxide storage wouldn't be an issue. Since that's only a transformative issue if you are using it in gas form. And the terrain's just not cooperating with me. Hey, Atreus, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Sad to say, we just lost our first rocket. It, unfortunately, it ran out of fuel. And we are almost out of volatiles in the base as well, so we are doing some volatile mining right now. I was looking forward to get a whole bunch of copper and some gold, but we did like the dwarves, but in space. And we ran out of things. Which is unfortunate, but, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, it basically went kaboom and blew apart the launch site. If we had like 30 seconds more fuel, we would have been able to recover it. But it was just not enough fuel to counteract gravity when it came in. Which freaking sucks. But, you know. Oh, excuse me? Why is my tracker not working? I swear to God, if we ran out of power on top of this because the volatiles were out, or did we burn something? I don't know. It's a good thing I knew we were running away from Saturn so we can just run towards that planet. I mean, I can see the tracker turning on and off, but it's not actually showing an error, so I guess we broke the tracking ship. Well, you can see the tracker is turning on. I don't know. The tracker is working, but it's completely broken the tracker itself. Probably all of the loading saving or loading pausing / reloading the game that broke it because of Unity. We're just gonna hop in here and we're gonna dump in a whole bunch of hydrogen. Well, that's an interesting way of doing it. I think that also falls into how did I manage to do that? Holy smokes. My freaking tired mode brain is running wild. Any tips for interfacing it with a vending machine via IC chip? It depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Like if you're looking at the vending machine per se, you can look at like you can look at quantity and you can compare you can look at, you know, the quantity of a specific hash of it. So like quantity and then iron ore, and then see how much iron ore is in the vending machine or whichever. You can also do request hash to set whatever you want to eject out of it into the device. And then you can do export count, clear memory, activate until you've exported enough of that type, and so on. So on and so forth. Then have it cycle through all the storage slots. There's a bunch of different things you can do with it, but it really boils down into what you're trying to accomplish with. And I need to refill, so I will be right back. I'm back. Well, clearly, we need more CO2 consumption, and we also need to fix up the hydrogen. I still need... So, what is our bet? Being able to rig up the other rocket. Because we need some new launch towers, we need some new umbilicals. And we basically need the infrastructure over... Pull it over here. I mean, I guess that would be our best bet, right? Getting the second missile up. Because we are going to call them missiles now, since the last one didn't land, so I'm not classifying it as a rocket. Clearly an ICBM. There we go. So, we get some frames up. And then we do... We pop this thing. And we put a fuselage on it. And then we move up batteries. And we kind of... We rebuild this with the components it has. To fit... more stuff. And just do mining as well. And just fill it up with more fuel. Because if we put... Yeah, if you move the things down... We add more fuel capacity. And then we just move the batteries up. It should be good. Right. So on the vending machine, code-wise, you're gonna be... the printer basically has to tell the vending machine what ore or what ingots it needs. Or are you gonna try to send like a stack of everything over? Because otherwise you would set the request hash which requests an item from the provided type from the device. And I don't know if that requires you to still trigger the activate. I think my brain needs a little bit of a rest from the rocket, so we can look at some here. You're sitting on the same network, right? Yeah, you're sitting on the same data network. And you are on. Yes, you are. You are. We have one piece of uranium in here, right? So if we want to grab that uranium, we'll do... Back in a couple. Oh. Hey! Hello, hello. How are you doing? And welcome to the channel. And this is the hangout of crazy rocket explosions currently. We just lost one on re-entry due to lack of fuel. We're doing a little bit of mixed MIPS, some rocket building, some rocket silo building, and overall more Stationeers, as you can probably tell. And thank you very much for the follow. It is very much appreciated, and I hope you enjoy your stay. That is that one, and then vending. Vendor? Vending. Grab this one. I wonder. So if we just do yield. I work as a game designer on a game called Eco. So it's not related to Stationeers per se, but it is, you know, looking at some of the things as, yes, that would be the correct title. Just looking at some things, playing around and testing other games and doing whichever, whatnot, while also coming with, you know, perspective of inside the industry kind of things and looking at them from design point of view, and, you know, talk about game design in general or eco in some cases, and having a chill, relaxed little... I have a cat that is very much mischievous. Also, no one has mentioned the cat camera being gone. What's that up in here? Let's pop that in there. I would say yes and no. The similarities is in it's a tile-based voxel thing, but it has no hostile mobs in that sense that you're killing. You're not gaining experience for, you know, doing that. It's not an adventure game. The similarities is that you have tools and you extract resources, and it's a tile-based voxel. But that's as far as it gets. Anything beyond that, in terms of crafting, refining materials, community building, the whole civilization epoch to it, is very, very, very dissimilar. But essentially, so if we just want to do SD vendor, and we're just gonna do what was the command? Request hash. And then we just set that to uranium. Stationeers, I am rolling on Mimiest, so no solar, no atmosphere, whatever. Saturn moon, and we have been running on a brutal playthrough on Stationeers difficulty. And we are... it's going alright, I think. Are you sad? You are sad. Are you not connected to it? Oh yeah, no, because it's not wasn't using device ID, I'm using hash value. There we go. Yeah, so if you do write request, it'll look for it in this, it'll cycle through the machine, look for it, and then it'll pop it out. Bam. So as long as you keep requesting that, it sends it out. Which is what I wanted to have a confirmation of. But yeah, so on Stationeers, we're making progress. This is our on the way to be communication center. It's a very much work in progress. We got our non-existent assembly hall, which is more of an assembly pad. Right, you survive first and second milestones, week, month. Yeah. So we have our elevator down to our atmospheric center, which you know, a lot of bits and pieces are things that are coming along. They're just kind of scaled accordingly, resource harvested, and so on. So right now they're just set up like this, as the classical filtration to canister. But they will go into large tanks in each silo like this along the way. So we've got all of the different gases. We've got our H2 combustor for water. That is also what's giving us all of our power. And then we got our fuel mixture and our liquid container for the water as well. And then we got our filtration from the steam. And that's running out, and that's kind of our basic atmospheric setup. And then we just chug in more ice as we harvest and get access to them. Still need to set up automatic harvesting for plants and a composting room so I can get access to generated volatiles. Want to do Vulcan so much? Ooh, I have a base on Vulcan, which we are sitting on day, what, 300 something. I'm not a fan of Vulcan. I do Vulcan for the challenge, and to push myself to deal with hot temperatures. But I don't enjoy playing on Vulcan because the terrain is such a pain in the ass to deal with. There we go, 9% hydrogen. Still losing a little bit of oxygen continuously, but that's just expand the greenhouse a little bit. Atreus, so for vending machines, you have an extremely easy way to do that. We pop this back on. Yeah, I have a bunch of stuff in here, and I have it set up so automatically pops on it. I agree, but looking at Gargantua, it's worth it to me. Yeah. And for the vending machine, this is essentially what I'm doing. I'm just calling request hash with the hash value of the item I wanted to extract. And that'll send that out and a push. And he is going freaking nuts on there. Very adorable. But yeah, so you just write to the vending machine with the request hash of the item you wanna have received or sent. And that's about it. Now the trick comes into only requesting it once. And he pushed it out of the camera view and is sitting outside there now. He likes pushing that thing around. But maybe we should do some automation here because it is driving me a little bit insane. We do a refrigerated one that stacks. We can do 100 stacks. So the printer would just ask for the thing. The question is, will the refrigerated vending machine stack ingots on the input? Just a little bit crazy. You're better than me. My OCD would go crazy and start automatic stacking, storing. Yeah, I mean, so one of the things that's dictated this run has been the fact that I'm refusing to use deep miners. So I don't have any automatic ore harvesting at the moment. I was getting there with the rockets, but unfortunately the rocket kind of exploded. So I'm gonna need to build a new one, which is gonna need to involve a bunch new power lines, a bunch new pipelines. Everything is a little bit of a mess. And it's not like I don't have the capacity to do it. It just shifts some around. So my question on the vending machine, right? Is the refrigerated vending machine actually stacking on the input? Or is it not doing that? Yank that steel out. Grab some solder as well. Because I know it stacks everything else on the input. So for anything like ore, food, potatoes, whatever else, it stacks it on the input. It does everything except ingots. Put food in the outlet, it will not spawn. Yeah, but that's the same for the oven. Like if you grab food or... Oh wait, actually done food, not ingredients. Okay, not that I have a problem. All my food is indefinitely storable anyway, so less of a problem. So how the hell would you... Yeah. Can I get my insulated pipes, please? I'm thinking. So... I'm just trying to I'm just trying to figure out how you would deal with how you deal with partials and minor we can stop the gas flow. How you would deal with things like smaller stacks. And sorting out, so when you're trying to, if you have smaller stack sizes and you're trying to stack them, so that it doesn't block the chutes. Like you know, you make an item. Yeah, but put them in a stacker. Yeah, but a stacker would block the input if you have other ore types or if you have other ingot types. So if the output from the autolathe is, 15 copper, and you want the whole ingot that goes into the vending machine to be 100 copper. So you could always make whatever you want to have made. How the hell would you deal with being able to filter that quantity? What was I making? Shoots. That was what was on my brain. Mechanically or by PC? That's the first question. Plan to never hold ingots. Yeah, because it's. I also had that in mind as well. So if you like, you set a recipe, right? And you hit. You don't hit the build button on the machine itself. You hit, an activate button or something. And then you go, I want to make this thing, and then it fetches the materials from the vending machine. And then once it's done building the quantity I wanted to have built, it ejects all the resources and sends it back into a stacker and or in whatnot. But because you get all of the types of materials out of the assembly machine, it would then need to sort all of the resources every time to not block the resource paths. So you would need to have a sorter and a stacker for each material type. Which is not necessarily tricky, it's just a heck of a high power consumption. Yeah. I think it's time to build one of those. I am... That was iron, yeah. I've been avoiding it for so damn long. I think it's time to finally make one. Now that we have maximum capacity water, drinking multiple times is kind of annoying. Just replace the water tank there. There we go, bam. Finally make storage and sorters for ingots and alloys, so I'm happy. I'm gonna go for furnace to craft / melt them. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have the furnace up way before I have storage for ingots. By my recollection. Let's do that. Let's do this. And let's just grab... You know what? Let's just start making the pathway down there. Get stuff sorted out. We're also gonna fix the elevator. How do you utilize the internal memory of machines? Are you talking about the general stack, or are you talking about the actual internal memory of appliances? So, for example, the vending machine doesn't have an internal memory. You're thinking about the autolathe as an example. So, like this stuff here in the internal, yeah. This requires you to do full stack hex / bit editing. I haven't dug into enough to actually even really try to decipher it. But I can post you a YouTube link for an amazing in-depth tutorial on it that I'm gonna be going through and learning from to figure out what the hell and how the hell it works, because it requires you to really, since you need to shift bits logically to be able to set exactly where in the address and in what capacity they need to be set to. Which is probably right up your alley, but my brain can't handle it tonight. But that's a great freaking tutorial and like in-depth explanation as to how it's working, why it's working, and how you should be using it. And once I've gone through that, I should be able to use all the things in that capacity. But that is what you need to do to be able to utilize, like, write to a recipe and grabbing all of the different missing ingredients and whatever else in a more in-depth capacity. So I'm guessing that something like that is what you're looking for. Time to get the floor welded up all the way. I'm tired of jumping over these things continuously. Is it a general waste of material to do this on pathway that is solid and is at the same altitude as the frames? Probably, most likely, but that way I don't need to worry. That brightness, that brightness. There we go. So that is all the floor pieces welded up into the facility. Do you are fine. And if you wanted the result of what happens when you have too little fuel left in your rocket when you are descending, here's the resulting evidence. All we have left is a little piece of wreckage, and that is about it. So, you know, it had about as much control on its descent as the lander descent with me on my start. That just flew from the heavens and then crashed in a fiery burning wreck. And no one even batted an eye. That should be good. That should be good. That's going to be our fuel line, and that's going to be our sorted out to our fuel line over here. So we'll do another rocket tower and then umbilicals, and that'll allow us to start reconfigure our rocket here. And then we can get that into orbit and then get that to mine things. And we're gonna put turbo miners on it. We're gonna put more batteries. We're gonna put turbo miners on it. And then we're gonna have more fuel, because the fuel amount I've set it to is pressurized up to 30 MPa. So we only used like half the fuel capacity. So if we bump that up to like 45 MPa, and then we add in the rest of the tanks, that should have us way enough to do like 3 deposits. But it does mean we're gonna need new rocket miners, and we're gonna need a bunch of new batteries, which is gonna be more steel and copper. Yeah. That's fine. I mean, resources are here to be spent, right? And if we're not blowing things up, are we even playing Stationeers? Do I have... I think I should have... Access bridge, rocket launch tower. Yeah. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I need to have that. I need to have it there. Yeah, that'll be where that gas canister is gonna be coming in. There we go. And that is connected up there. And is that gas filled already? Yeah. That is pretty slick. Then we just need to move over the pump, fix the code for it. And then we need to get the power line up here. Although, even though it's going to be more pipes and it's going to be more shit, we could move the pump here. And that way it wouldn't matter which one it's connected to. What distance? Oh, the tutorial? Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot that you need to take in. Now the good thing is we already have... Yeah. That's the storage we need. And then we just need 2 rocket miners, a bunch of batteries, get the umbilicals, and we're essentially good to go. Which means we're going to need a bunch of steel, a bunch of copper, the rocket miners, and then it's just going to be reconfiguring this rocket. Because we got the cables. Got the computer here. Yeah, let's just do that. Yeah, I know you were gonna throw an error. Too. 306148. We're actually gonna set that to 45,000, which means it's gonna be even more gas that we're gonna need to put in. But volatiles and oxygen isn't a problem for compression, so not at the temperature that it is, at least. Then we're gonna need umbilicals and a bunch of batteries, and we're gonna need to pull the freaking power cable all the way down as well. And then we're gonna launch up the rocket. And then we're gonna go mining. Mining. Most likely gonna need some hand mining before we get the rocket into space, because we need more batteries. We need a lot more batteries in it. And we'll figure things out. I want the elevators down here as well. I also want the whole thing in atmosphere so I can get some gravity and not have to worry about it. Right, so... steel and Invar. What are we gonna need? The chute umbilical, don't need that. I need a bunch of, essentially a bunch of everything. Because we didn't have any actual, we had some NOS ice, but we didn't have any. Like this guy had some volatile vapor, some oxygen vapor, but I don't know how you mine vapors. Like, not like I can mine liquids, right? Ooh, mining also generates a small trickle of survey points at the location. Okay. Like, my guess is you're mining it and it's like, I don't know. You mine it and then it falls under the same as ice yield multipliers, I suppose. But where does it go? Because the mining equipment only connects to chutes, and chute doesn't do liquids. Does it just absorb into the tank? Like, I'm presuming you're mining it, but how do you extract it from the rocket after it's back? Now, I'm kind of interested in this NOS ice. Like the freaking almost pure nitrous oxide ice. Because that shit would be amazing. That would allow us to do... like liquid rockets instead. That's probably something that we are gonna do later. That's our 2 high-speed drills. The rocket battery requires steel, electrum, and solder, and then you require a crap ton of parts and cables. And we just might as well do all 10 of these. We're gonna need more steel. And we're gonna need it to make a bunch of fuselages. We're gonna need more steel. Gonna need a bunch more steel. At least we bumped the hydrogen a bit with that cargo load that we had of, or mining load that we did. There we go. That's hooked up. That's gonna be 2 pieces of fuselage. Probably gonna be enough. We already have a scanner on it. We are gonna need a gas umbilical and all the other bits and pieces on it. That's gonna be slightly annoying. But yeah, might as well just let it sit there, do its fuselage. We're gonna run down with these things. And we're gonna rebuild and do a bunch of other things. Maybe we'll have the rocket assembled before we're hopping off, but maybe not. That's quite nice. That's quite nice. We don't need that flying that high. Like Groundhog Day with these rockets in the end of stream, right? Right? No, but in this case, can I deconstruct the fuselage? No, I need to rip all of the components. Figured that was gonna be the case. But that's fine. That's fine. But so the bottom part here is essentially what we have reserved for our fuel tanks. And then we have the scanner, which is seemingly an oversight on their part, or just they haven't really bothered with it yet, that the scanner doesn't actually use durability compared to the miner. And then we have a few more pieces in the room here in case we need other components. And then we have this whole thing for the rocket cargo storage. We've got this guy coming out there, which we do not want to do. Yeah, we can do it that way. And then we'll do a miner here, and we do a miner there, and then we have power and whatever. Although we're gonna need to figure out where the hell we want to put the power. Do we just want to put the drills up here, and then we put the power? I don't want the power in the middle. I don't like that. Yeah, you know what? Let's rotate that. Let's rotate the rocket scanner. There we go, put that there. Then I get the power socket on the right side. Don't need to have the cable all the way over to fit that in there. And then we still have plenty of room for the power or the fuel down there. And I can pull that straight upwards. And then we get those two other fuselages, which it's gonna have made more than that now. But I can always use more. As we've seen, rockets can explode. But you know, there's a lot of resource investments in these rockets, but if you can get them to work, they can pay off significantly. Now the question is, did it shoot off a device on somewhere, or are we good? Yeah, we're good. I think it only had material to make 3 of them. Do we want... We want a gas umbilical. We got the power umbilicals, that's fine. And now we want rocket miners, 2 of them. Which is gonna be our additional steel necessity. And I think that might be it. Alright, I just need to throw in some Constantan, which we have here. And then it's gonna be a bit of steel, which we do not have. Bring that with me since I'm gonna be going down there anyway. Or, you know, we have these guys we want to bring. Put that away. Grab that. And then we're gonna grab some cable. Fill that stack up. And then we are gonna grab that piece of cable. We're gonna grab gold, copper, and then you do a bunch of heavy cables that I'm gonna need. And it's down the abyss. That cable needs to be made. I'll stack you up. Wait a minute. Hang on a bit. Hunger critical. Hey Ruby, hope you have had a good Monday. Mondays tends to be a little bit on the annoying side. So I hope yours have been alright. Yeah. So that is our gas umbilical. Flip you around. Bam, that's on the right slot. I am full of nanomachines. Good, good, good. Wait a minute. Hang on a minute. I'm not sure if that's a good thing. Are you stationed near the end? Well, I mean, David, you did miss my rocket exploding. We may or may not have ran out of fuel on our descent, and somehow gravity had its way with us. Busy cursing my squad. Well, I think that should. Yeah, so we'll put one more cylinder on there. Because I don't think we're gonna fit the batteries and that. So we're gonna put one more tank. One more canister up here. And then we'll put the lid on top. And then we're gonna do the miners and that. And then we're gonna do the miners on top and then the power in the middle, maybe. We'll see. I might just rip the avionics and move that all up because I'm not sure like how that is looking on this one. But yeah, so we're gonna do some rocket redecoration here tomorrow. We're gonna get this thing off the ground into the air. But we are coming up to an end here. I was planning on hitting us out at midnight. Because I have some stuff to do tomorrow, which is regular work stuff. So just assembly, clean up a little bit. And then we'll find someone to raid. I mean, that might be a good time. I've kitted up everything I need to bring down there. A whole bunch of electronic parts. We got the batteries down there. We got a bunch of cables. Drink up water. Get some food. And I think that might be on a good note. I do want to get the... Also, this rocket data link shouldn't be in here. I do want to get that rocket launched. We'll see what happens. So, on an update, I've fixed up the schedule now. And we are looking at 8 to 10, or sorry, 8 to midnight or 8 to 12. And the new streaming schedule is gonna be week-wise. Where did I put the damn schedule? There we go. So Monday, Tuesday, and then we skip Wednesday, have a day off. And then we'll do Thursday, Friday, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then I'm pulling a day off on Sunday. So Wednesdays and Sundays will not be streaming going forward for now, because I need some time to both do general improvements to the stream as is. I need some downtime as well, but I'm also going to be looking at doing some other content in general that I've been talking about a little bit for YouTube and whatnot. So I'll be running some MIPS things and introductions to some problem solving. And yeah. Let us find someone to take a visit Ganter onto. And I know Fuldoma is up and running. I think we'll just sneak over to him. So as usual, if you want to figure out when I'm gonna be available next, either pop in on the Discord or take a look at the About or the Schedule page here on Twitch. And until then, I wish you all a very, very good start on the week, and good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you may be. And as I said, until then, take care, and good night. We're gonna hop over to Fuldoma and see how he's doing on his Europa run, and that's gonna be about it. So take care, and see you later.